Oh, yeah. Was the owl? Good evening. I'm sorry, what? Oh, we're good, okay. Thank you, we're just waiting for a forum, we have one now, and I'm going to open the public hearing for project 25-2 Seacoast Christian School Site Plan Amendment. A few ground rules. Please state your name, your address, if you're a resident, want to make comments. And can I have a show of hands of people who want to speak tonight? No, because I will then set a minute limit, but if that's not the case, you know, so just a few, I don't. Okay, good. All right, just.
Yeah.
Okay,
You ready for me to start? Okay,
we're gonna, this is a public hearing.
yes,
For residents basically or butters to weigh in.
okay,
You are later on the agenda, when we get to the business portion, if you're going to
Oh,
speak
okay.
to the actual application.
oh, sure, in other towns, usually. The applicant gives a little brief presentation and then it opens up to the public, so if there's any questions so that they know about the project. But other than that, I get either way. All right, okay, all right. So I'll go through, the project pretty quickly. And then, answer questions from the public as they come through. This is a redevelopment of the gymnasium that burnt down. The new structure is going to be bigger than the, previous. It is going to have, a more dedicated space in the building for locker rooms, a gymnasium. There will be a classroom for, phys ed classes in that area. There'll be a small concession area. And, as I mentioned, locker rooms and bathrooms for that, and there'll be a section for seating. The gymnasium is used for the school predominantly. It's going to be school related as we move forward. It's going to be sprinkled to give it fire protection. There will be new water, sewer, and electric services to the building as well. The new structure will be constructed using insulated concrete form blocks to create a energy efficient structure that will be an asset to the school and the community here, and the buildings to be placed roughly in the same location as the existing. Yeah.
Hey, is there anybody who would like to speak? No pressure. Okay, anybody, is there anybody on Zoom who's attending who would like to speak? Can you tell who's on?
No one's even on Zoom.
No one's even on Zoom. Wow, this is gonna be, okay.
We would like to speak.
Oh, would you like to speak? Please, come on up. Excellent. Loves to make the engagement.
Yes, we would.
Right. Like that, and what's your name?
Lucas,
Pardon me, say again?
Full name, Lucas Tarian.
Lucas Tarian,
Okay, and where do you live? You know your address?
we're residents of Lyman. He goes to the school.
Lima, you're ready, okay,
She's a student, yeah.
that's fine. Sure, we'd love to hear, what do you think?
If you wanted
The
to.
gym is very important to me.
Excellent. You play sport?
No,
No, but you like the gym? You have
Yes.
You have gym class there?
yeah,
Excellent. I bet you miss it now that, well, actually, I guess school hasn't started yet.
yeah,
So you're looking forward to having a new one, I guess.
yep,
All right, so that's a big thumbs up, I'm in favor of the gym.
yeah.
Big thumbs up.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well, the gym is very important to me because I love all the games that we play in there, and it's a lot more fun to play in the gym instead. Like we can't play Gaga ball. I mean, what's it called? Like the ball that in the middle of the gym. Just throwing at people.
Like dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
I like playing dodgeball in there.
Nice. All right, well, thank you so much for coming up and speaking. We really appreciate hearing your input. It's important.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, anyone else? All right, barring no other public comment, I'm going to close the public hearing at whatever time it is now. 6:06, make it official, and everybody is at ease, or actually you can stay for the next portion that doesn't start officially until 6:30. So we're just gonna stand here and turn off our mic and gossip for a while.
You're that,
Is that me? Or you put me through?
it's that.
I am calling our regular meeting to order at 6:30. If you would like and are able, please, rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we're gonna go right to, if no one minds, we're gonna move, application 24/25-002, Seacoast Christian School Site Plan Amendment to the first order of business in order to let you folks know. I haven't even eaten, unless you like. It's okay. I got some. Go, Jack.
All right, sure. Good evening, Jeff Oliva, Civil Consultants. Here to talk about the project in front of you. The plans, really haven't changed much since the last meeting that we were here. The only real changes are that we, added more information pertaining to the utilities and how they are run from the new gymnasium out to Paul Street, for our water, sewer, and stormwater that will head out into Paul Street. Other than that, no changes to the building, size or the layout that was presented. We are seeking, again, a waiver for landscaping for, in general, since this project is isolated to the location where the old gymnasium was, and we're not proposing any other site changes or revisions to the property.
Do, any of our planning board members have questions? Aaron? I have one quick question. It looks like on your plan, you were within the 75 foot setback for the stream. Is that a problem?
No, because the existing building is there, so what that means is that as we go through this process, we will fill out and submit to the DEP a PBR for the redevelopment in that section.
Except, oh, I see what you're saying here, that the existing building was in this piece, but the new building is sort of, I hate to say it's exacerbating that.
Yeah, it's more in that setback, but, we feel that the DEP is not gonna have an issue with where it is, because that area back there is predominantly lawn. What we're doing with our stormwater now is we're having some treatment off of the sloped edge roof that's gonna go through a drip edge filter, and really and it's a flat roof, and that is captured in drains, and that stormwater is not directed towards the stream. It's headed out towards Paul Street, so it reduces that kind of warm water potential impact, once this building's done.
All right. Anything else? We have our findings of fact. We don't have to read those into the record or review.
The first, we need to find the application complete and
That-
approve that. Ms. Chen, this is the point of order. And add what you just said about the E2 condition for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd like to add, okay, so I need a motion from the application complete.
So we'll.
Second all in favor? Okay, unanimous, great, your application is being complete, and now we're going to watch plan. That was great. Give me a sec here. So are you, are we gonna add, that it's, dependent on DEP approval? Certainly. Okay. We're not gonna sign this.
Yeah, put it under condition 4. You can go ahead and amend it and add that, and then you guys can vote on it. And I'll get it fixed up and sent over to you for your signature.
You got it.
I think this.
Take that back. Okay, fine. Got it, thank you.
For you, continue.
If we also need a waiver, the waiver to the landscaping, maybe.
I gotcha. Okay.
But hold on, you also talked about the waiver.
No, we just keep it complete. And the waiver is for landscaping. You have asked to be, asked for a waiver not to have to submit a landscaping plan. You already having in your findings of fact that you will be replanting sort of what was there already.
Correct.
I know you're taking out a couple of trees.
Yes,
So I need a motion for the waiver. It's your turn to accept the waiver.
A second.
All in favor? Aye, great, pass unanimously. Great. Yeah,
I think that's the very.
so I think can you have a chance to review it? We good? Yes. Okay. I just need once again a motion to approve the findings of facts and the, as amended. For
A motion that we approve the findings of fact as amended for the approval. Second.
all in favor? Great, good.
thank you.
See you on the next one.
You got it. Thank you.
Well, let's
Oh,
do it.
wait.
Yes,
Take back. Oh, it's perfect.
yes.
They're good. They're good.
Jen, you were on your date. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. for
All
coming in.
right.
Good luck as we go today.
Once again, we might be looking for new planning board members. So if they'd like to join this incredibly fun work. You know, we're getting it done.
Why don't we say just vacate real quick?
Well done.
Great job, thanks, man.
Right. See you again.
Hold on. There.
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah, 1 year.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
I'm just gonna run right through the.
Yep.
One meeting.
Hold on.
Okay, you can approve.
Have a good night.
You know, we actually get that done. Okay, we're going back to the regular agenda. I need a motion for the approval of meeting minutes from July 17th, 2024 meeting. Were both of you there for this? Yes. You were. Okay, one of you, motion, your turn, Aaron.
Motion to approve, meetings for 17th. Second.
All in favor? Aye, excellent, pass. Moving on, new business. We are going to, hold over the discussion regarding amendments to the planning board bylaws. Since it seems like there might be more than one change, so we'll wait on that. We'll go to the next, meeting. Zoning discussion, I think, Paul, you're here.
Yeah, I am. Well, virtually, yes. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you? Let's talk now, then you can, you don't have to sit through the rest of this, unless you'd like to, because maybe as our planner you want to. So I would suggest, we set a workshop time, if that works for you. For the planning board to sit down with you and do whatever nitty-gritty discussion we need to have, and I'm not really sure what the process looks like, maybe you can make a suggestion there for us.
Yeah, so, without, I think, as you hopefully know, I'm working part-time for the town, probably 10 to 15 hours a week. Special projects, we're calling it, one of which is updating the code. And, you know, that we're just starting to get rolling on that. And I know you guys have been talking about it for a while. where we're at, we're looking at, probably hiring general code publishers to do certain pieces of the code, which is sort of like a cleanup operation of the existing code. Making sure it's, referencing the right state statutes, that there's no well, there are conflicts. I think we all know that. That it, sort of meets all the new requirements of Maine state law. So we just started that process. We have actually not signed a contract with them yet. So we're getting that going. And so that's sort of where we're at. But then there's a lot of other things at play, which I'm again, at this point, Hershey, I'm not sure where to, it might be a little premature to have a workshop because I don't know, we have a lot to work with at this point, but we can talk about that maybe at a following meeting. But there's other things going on like the comp plan, which has been submitted to the state, and which we should be getting final word on that shortly. And there's the downtown stuff. So there's a whole bunch of things that are out there zoning related. And I think I'm just trying to figure out how they're all going to line up and make it as efficient as possible as I try to work with you guys. So that's sort of where it's at. Your next meeting I could zoom in on. I'm going to be out of town, but I'm happy to do that. However you all want to do it is fine. But I think the first thing is to get this code update rolling, and that should happen very soon. Like we have the proposal and we've reviewed it, and I think Tim just needs to take a final look at it.
That's great, and I was under the impression we just get one whole model code, but whatever they're doing, I'm with you, let's just wait till that's over. And not that we can't be doing things in the meantime, but I think some of the other front work that the planning board would like to do, or should do, is really reviewing the comp plan. Because in a very sort of, I know, vague way, the comp plan really should sort of inform the ordinance, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it's sort of almost a two-part thing where the code is the work that the general code people are doing is very much sort of an administrative sort of cleanup and identifying issues and concerns and conflicts and all that sort of stuff. Whereas stuff related to the comp plan is a little more bigger of a, it's more of a heavy lift. There's a bunch of policy stuff in there and things that, we need to talk about as far as density and change in zoning boundaries and all that sort of thing. So I think we're trying to figure out how what that phasing will look like. But that's sort of where we're at. But I think the big thing is to get the code going, the code update, the administrative part of that going.
So do you think there's a part we can get moving on right now that doesn't even wait for the consultant to finish their cleanup or the comp plan to be approved? I mean, aside from sort of reading, and we can also, as board members, be collecting, I think, stuff we've seen or we've been itchy to get into the code and come with our own list, but it could be really all over the map, right, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
I think, and I think Jenny, I think we sent out a form, and Jenny can probably speak to it better than I, asking people for comments and to comment on pieces of the code that they think are not, or that you have had problems with, that you've observed that are issues or administrative issues or that are conflicts or that are confusing just from your work. And we've asked you all to, if you have time and the desire to make those notes and use whatever form Jenny put together through Google Docs to sort of like, and we're going to start collecting those over the next month and get them to the code people. So, but again, those are just more administrative things, not like a deep dive into like zoning and, density and all that. It's more like things that you've noticed have been a problem, I think.
okay. Well, okay. So I think we've been assigned homework is the way I would look at this, and let's give us a month, maybe. And I would charge all of us to, look at the comp plan also, because that would take a lot of time to read. If you but also to start making a list or whatever, responding to Jen's, form in terms of every little thing that's bugged you about the zoning ordinance as we move forward. Whether it's with a typo, or this shows up in 2 places, or why can't you have a whoopie pie stand where you can sell corn? Or, I don't know, vacancy control, light ordinance I've wanted, all of those things that have been sort of lingering and we keep putting off. Now's the time to put it on a list and we will slowly work our way through it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is that,
The only thing I think Paul left out is Paul and I are hoping to have a dead date on this of September 30th to get it to the general code unless that's changed. Paul?
well, do you need us to do our work before we give it to them, or I'm sort of waiting for them to do their work, because I don't wanna, you're gonna clean it up, that might. You know.
I think, I don't know, Hershey, I think we would like to get everything to the, I mean, they're gonna start, but I think we wanna, I mean, I've already started looking at various things.
Okay,
And there are, you know, there's some conflicts and things I'm picking up on. So I do think we want to get that off, because they have like 180 days, if we do sign the contract with them, to do all their work and get that back to us with all their suggestions and changes. So I think, and we don't want to do it piecemeal, I think we would just like to give them a full boat of things that we think don't work. So I do think that the sooner you all can get stuff back to Jen and I, the better.
Are you concerned with getting individual responses? Because I'm just wondering, you give individual responses, it goes off the contract, the contractor incorporates it into this draft. Then it comes back and people on the planning board, one person put something in, and then, we need to have a conversation about that.
right, so, and here's a great example, so I think there's been a lot of dissatisfaction about our, home occupancy, our major and minor home occupancy, and I do better talking things out with people, right? Maybe we want, like, I think this is Tony's point, that he might have one idea, I might have another, and that's why sort of workshopping some of those changes, unless they're more major, and they can get put off till later, might be the way to go.
I would, and I'll, Jenny can weigh in. I mean, to me, that sounds like more of a substantive discussion than what they're proposing to do. That is like sort of a policy issue on like which way the town wants to go with that sort of thing. So I totally hear what you're saying. And that, that goes beyond like things like that I've been finding, like you in your definition section, you have definitions of things, but they're not included in the land use table. So it's like, why do we have, why are we defining something that we're not saying whether you can or can't do it or where? Those sorts of things, and I mean, that's sort of more specifically what they're doing. I think what you're talking about with the home occupations, and I've been following that, I think is more of a, like, that would be something we need to talk about as a board and workshop out and all that sort of stuff.
So my suggestion though is that we submit, and we can try to divide our own comments into let's call it nitty gritty and maybe substantive or something.
Right.
But I think we should sort of dump everything on you, and then, I feel a little more comfortable letting you decide to some extent what gets passed on to them and what gets put aside for discussion, unless I really know it's part of the discussion. I think I get where you're coming from, we understand it. But it could be, I say, oh my God, this is a conflict, and you'll say that's something they can deal with, as opposed to we don't need to have a big talk. So, let's put it all together, but we'll try to separate it ourselves. Cool?
So what I would say to that is, it's a Google form, so when you fill it out, Paul and I can then sort it and put it into a, spreadsheet sort of thing. So it's not like they're gonna go to the general code and just be implemented into the ordinance. You guys are gonna have time to see everyone's ideas too and what they're looking to change. So it's not just gonna be a one-off,
We're gonna get a red line, I said, right?
sort of.
Yeah.
Definitely at the end, but, for this Google form, as soon as everyone puts in their comments and stuff, you will see the full document before we even do anything with it. It's easy to send out.
Okay, great. I think that's the way forward for now. I encourage all of us and people who are not here, so, maybe I'll write a note to the rest of the planning board, we didn't make this meeting. To myself, to really take this seriously, this is our chance to like complain about every little thing or apply every little. And say this works great, this doesn't, but now's our chance. Let's get that done in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great.
All right, Paul, so, I don't know if you wanna, what our next meeting looks like, if it's a light load and we don't have a lot going on, it'd be great if you wanted to come and just check in on how we're doing, especially if we have any questions about it.
Yeah.
And Jen, I guess,
That's a good idea.
go call us, we'll call you.
No, I'll call you, Paul. So anyways, the only thing that we have on our next agenda is gonna be anything that was tabled on this agenda if we're ready for it. And then the only other thing is going to be a, subdivision. It's a small subdivision, minor, so if there's not a lot on that agenda for the late August.
Talk about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Dates, times and such for this meeting.
If you guys are ready to, but yeah.
all right, so plan on coming to the next planning board meeting then, Paul, and we'll have a check-in there, just to see how we're doing, that's okay.
I'll be zooming in from an undisclosed location if that's okay, but
Wait, are you Paris Olympics right now? All right, good. So if there's anything else, we're gonna probably move on, getting to our findings and facts and other approvals and, then we can wrap up. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is 24/25-001 Unitil Shoreland Zone Permit, findings of fact. Have it in your packet and, I'll give you a second to take a quick look at it. Karen, do you need any of these, copies of all of these?
Thank you.
Great, so, Jen has already pointed out to us that these findings of fact are sort of boilerplate and typical of this sort of shoreline development permit. So I would entertain a motion.
Motion to accept, findings of fact.
Second. All in favor? Aye, passed unanimously, excellent, I'm gonna sign it right now. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, on to the next thing. SP 24-002, major home occupation, automotive services on Lord's Lane, findings of fact, and we just take a look at that. Karen, did you copy that one too? You get all?
I've got
You got all 3. All right, I will entertain a motion to accept these findings of fact, addition of, well, there's no approval, so denial, yeah.
So moved. Seconded.
Excellent, all in favor? Aye, unanimous, excellent, thank you. All right. On to Sandville Estates. Yeah, okay, and we don't miss you break anytime soon.
I sent him a message and I didn't hear back. I don't know if you want to kind of state for the record why you can't do that tonight. So
That's
that's
fine, yeah. Um. All right. Um. Next piece on our agenda is, MSP 24-003 Sandville Estates. They requested an amendment to condition 6 of an original finding of fact that has been passed. And asked us to reconsider at our last meeting, we, voted not to reconsider it, and this would be the finding of fact to put into the record. Unfortunately, we don't have a quorum that can discuss it. Tony has to recuse himself because he is, a member of Meadow Pond planning. Okay, and, yeah, so without two of us, we will have to hold this over to our next meeting. So nothing will happen on that. We are now at board member comments. Does anybody wish to weigh in on anything whatsoever? No, neither? Great. Oh, Jen does. Yes, please.
Also, I would like to say is Ecos Christian School here in town has started the demo process of their gym. That the planning board just approved tonight. There was another, collapsed barn here in town that has been removed as well, so that's good.
Where,
Where is it?
Main Street, Main Street, yeah, so.
oh, yes.
Yeah, so everything's looking good. So your next planning board meeting should be pretty light. Gonna be finding some facts for Stanville and then going to be, a minor subdivision, 3-lot subdivision out on the Gilbert Road. So you guys can decide ahead of time and get the packet for that, but there's gonna be no other agenda for that night.
Were we already done with this?
No,
Great. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Great. Okay.